Dude, I've been so jealous of you so many times, man. Like showing up to Austin and you're having the time of your life. You're like, John, I'm getting so much pussy. I'm like, ah! I have to go back to work. I have to drive 12 hours to the next fucking state and work even longer. And you're like,
Dude, I like,
whee!
yeah, I'm like, that fucking sucks to be you, dude. I'm like,
Dude, even your coworkers are like, I feel so bad for your friend Andrew.
God,
I
I
would
can't.
show
I
up
mean, like,
like I would show
what?
up in Texas, bro. I would show up in Texas and I'd be like, I have to be in Minnesota now. And they're like, you have to drive to fucking Minnesota? Like, yeah, dude, the fun's over. They're like, we're gonna do salvia in the back now. I was like, ah.
Yeah, dude, literally.
I was
Like you're
not
like
having fun, bro. I had like
you're
a
like
day,
yeah.
like
You
maybe.
have to get back up to fucking the Satan's asshole, fucking North Dakota or whatever, and be covered in grease for like 3 months. And
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, that's what I have to do. You're like telling my coworkers after work at like 3 in the morning, and they're like, that's fucking crazy. They're like,
Yeah.
that's
Wow, dude.
wild, dude.
That sucks. So like, you can't party?
They're like, yeah, they're like playing chess and smoking weed. They just made like $500 to like just hang out in the at the bars all night.
Dude, my soul screamed in envy every time I hung out with you and your friends. I hated you guys.
I cannot believe you did not come join and do that. I can't
I
believe it.
knew, dude, fuck, I knew if I did, my fucking my life would fucking be washed down the drain. I would get no work done. I would party all the time. I would just be I would become like the worst version of myself. As much fun as that would be, I would be the worst version of myself. I'm like, I have to fucking grind now.
Yeah,
But I'm glad.
I
I'm
hear
glad,
you.
dude. Like fucking I'm so much this burdens me to say this, dude. I wish I could have fucking had that then, but looking at where we both are now, I'm much happier for it.
I hear you. Well, dude, like the other thing is like it is dangerous. It's so dangerous to do.
Dude. Yeah.
Like that job nearly fucking killed me, and I knew that it could kill me, and I was the only one who seemed to care. Like I was like,
You
do you
voiced
guys
it
realize
so many
we're
times.
on these little stupid bikes surrounded by drunk drivers every night, right? Like that's crazy. And they're like barely conscious, like, what are you talking about? They're like all fucked up, like, that's a bummer. I'm like, yeah, it's a fucking bummer.
Yeah, dude.
I
Like,
dude, you know what's crazy? I'm telling you, I was the most like top 90%, like top 10% most responsible of my coworkers. Like in general, and I worked harder. I put in more hours for the last couple of years than any of them.
yeah.
Me, fucking
Yeah.
me.
Yes. Wildcat Woo Woo, dude, was out
uh,
there fucking just setting picks in life, bro. You were fucking crushing it. You were demolishing the competition, homie.
dude, it's like, dude, I should have gotten out like earlier. I should have gotten out like I hated it, dude. I was miserable. I was fun for like 3 years, and then I was like, this sucks. COVID fucked everything up because I couldn't work for like a year,
I
and
remember
then
that, dude. I remember coming and seeing you during
and
that
then
shit period.
ugh,
I remember, man. That was the
awful.
first time I've ever seen you fat before, dude. And as much fun it was for me to like to pick on you and everything, I was like, something's wrong, man. Like something's wrong.
Yeah, he's not doing well. I was not doing well.
No, dude.
I
I
was like
liked
fucking purposeless.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
A lot of people
I
were that.
gained, yeah, dude, I gained fucking, I got up to like 200 pounds.
That's
I
I've
yeah,
never.
I went from yeah, I gained like 25 pounds, dude.
Wow, you did, dude. You did. Like it still is like burned into my brain the image of you being fat. I was like, I, I've never seen it before. I was just like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
It's
didn't
just
think
kind
it'd
of hard to
happen.
describe. Yeah, man.
I literally didn't think I could get fat, dude.
I didn't think you could either, man. You're like a medical anomaly for the longest time. Like I've seen you fucking down so much food over the years, and like you just got more ripped. I'm just like, I fucking hate this guy.
Yeah, dude, that was a really fucked up time for me.
Not only you,
This dude,
although
the
I do
last
feel for
dude
you.
since like since 2020 has been not fun. Not fun for me at all.
But aside from the catastrophe that your car crash was, which I absolutely feel for you for, do you feel that you are in a designed kind of like learning pattern for like an upswift, turn of events here? Like you're buckling down the hardest I've ever seen you buckle down before. You're engaging yourself in new criteria in life.
I mean, yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know that I'm cut out for blue collar work. I just don't know that I can stomach doing that for 8 hours a day. And I didn't intend to do it for the rest of my life, but I don't know that I can, like, if I had to do that for like until retirement age, dude, I just would not be able to do it. I would not be able to do it. I wanted, like I told you, like my plan was to do this for like a year or 2 years and learn the basics of the trade. So if I had to move somewhere and make a living, I could do that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
I absolutely do know what you mean, man. And I think it's still a good goal to have in mind. I still think you should follow through with the aspect of doing that for a year, but possibly go with another company that you're surrounding your people with, not dorks, but people that you can actually engage with and learn from, and an environment that
Yeah.
fits you better. Because the last people you were with, I already knew it was gonna be a problem. I was like, Aaron's gonna tear this person apart.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a bad guy. It's just it's not the right fit. Not the right fit. I wish I could. I liked the boss. I wish that, but the boss was like at home. He was like not running calls. I wish I could have done his stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that is a more fun environment, but it's just a stepping stone phase, man. You gotta learn the low man totem position and then work your way up to the position that befits you better. But it just takes time.
Um,
I've done fucking plenty of fucking work I hate doing, dude. Fucking work where I'm just like fucking standing in oil, standing in muck, fucking elbows deep in fucking bullshit I don't want to do. But I also understand that this is just a part of the process, man. And it's honestly made me better, man. It's made me better. It's made me funnier. I think a couple of years ago we were talking about fucking how placing yourself into like a negative environment over time does make you funnier just because it gives you more to work with, right?
yeah, it's like a coping mechanism. The
Yeah.
funniest dude, the funniest you've ever been. You got so much funnier when you were going through all that bullshit with Elizabeth. You,
I was utterly and completely depressed as a person, but I'll agree with you. I was so funny.
dude, yeah, like hilarious. You just became so fucking funny. Like you were like on the verge of snapping, and you were just like Dude, it was like having fucking Shane Gillis as my friend or something. He must be about to kill himself.
Oh, dude, every day my new mental image was like bothering me at some points. I was like, is today the fucking day? And then something funny would like pop up as a coping mechanism. I'm like, oh wait, I should riff for this. Not that anyway. I think this is hilarious.
Oh my god.
Dude. I okay, I don't want to go back to that mental paradigm, but sometimes I would be
Yeah,
so
it's
much funnier.
it's not it's dude, it's not great. It's like there's a lot of downsides that come with it, but there is one perk of being like on the brink of blowing your brains out is that it's very fun. Like you're a very funny person.
You become very funny. I agree, dude. I was pretty funny, man. I was
Dude,
surprised
yeah,
myself.
dude,
Can
I was
you
funnier. When was I the funniest, John?
oh, you've always been a pretty funny guy, man. But when were you the funniest, man? I don't know, dude. You've always had this like odd mental instability that's just really made you funny over the years. You know what? You know what? Remember back in high school and you would like lock yourself away for like days on end in this like cocoon of like depression. And I would just like come like be just John man, like want to hang out with my buddy, dude. You would hit zingers left and fucking right. And I didn't realize the comedic potential I was surrounding myself with.
Dude, I was so close to finding a gun.
I just show up and like you're like, well, I can't do it now. He's not leaving.
If somebody came like to break into the house and pointed a gun at me, I would have fucking put it in my mouth. I would have been like, fucking, yeah, put it in my brain. Like,
That's a great idea.
oh, dude.
You would look at your assailant like, why didn't I think of that?
Gun, brilliant.
Great idea.
Yeah, dude, I was fucking super sad there for a while.
The thing is, dude, I was so fucking oblivious to your state. I just knew that like I had little to no friends at the time, and even though you were in that freaking terrible fucking state of mental being, I was just like, he'll hang out with me. He's not going anywhere. He's just hanging his
Yeah,
room.
he can't get off the floor.
Either way, I'm glad we let you out of that situation, man. But when I say you were fucking funny, then dude, you had some fucking shock factor humor. Like the amount of like you opened my eyes to a whole new world of odd porn in that freaking time frame, dude. You would like open your computer up, you're like, hey John, and have this like sly look in your eye, like, check this out.
Dude, I remember that day. I remember what video I showed you too. I swear to God, I remember exactly what video I showed you.
Yeah, dude. And I found out, I was like, oh my God, here's a freak.
It was a video of Rocco Siffredi or whatever his name is, that Italian pervert who like with like a 7.5-inch dick who just destroys women with it. Like he's so lucky that he wasn't working like in his prime during the Me Too stuff, because oh my God.
Dude.
Oh my God.
Dude. That's not even the video that sticks me the most.
What is it?
Believe it or not.
Oh, do you? But you remember the one I'm talking about, right?
You'll have to show me it again. I'm sure I've either
No
suppressed
problem.
it.
I've got it bookmarked.
I either suppress it or just don't remember, man. for my own mental well being.
All right, what's the one you remember?
So another like one of these times, man, you had like this like sly look in your eye as like you pull up your computer and you were like, "Hey, John, man." I was like, "Oh fuck, here we go." And you pull up this video, dude, of this girl like getting railed out while like being like her head like shoved into like the freaking toilet bowl.
That's the
And
video I'm talking about.
that's the one,
Yeah.
dude. I've never forgotten that one. And like I just like remember like slowly like looking at you and you had this like look of just like yeah in your eyes, dude. Like you had like some sort of like sick pleasure in your eye and I was like oh. But
Yeah, that
I was
shit's
like
wild, dude, right?
that
That
shit's
shit's
wild, dude.
wild.
Because like okay, so here's what opened my eyes to that whole thing is that I thought women were this flower to be protected, treated nicely, you know? And then you were
Uh-huh.
like, no, dude, they love this shit. I was like, how? And you're like,
Yeah.
where have you been, dude? They love this shit. I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, no, women are fucked up. Women are fucked up.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Like this the stuff they actually like is like it sucks because like I want to find someone who I like, love and respect and stuff, and the stuff that they want oftentimes you to do to them, it's like I am not going to respect you after this. Sorry, I'm gonna treat you like an
After
object,
putting
and
you
then
through
it's like,
that, I can't
dude,
respect you, but I might love
dude,
you.
I've done things to women at their own request where I'm like, as soon as we get done, I'm just like, I'll never look at you the same. You'll never be the mother of my children. You will never bear my children, dude.
You feel
Thank
bad for the
you.
kids,
I'll
like,
cook you some food, and you got to get the fuck out of here. Like
yeah, dude. I've ran into that a few times
you,
myself.
you fucking dirty, stupid slut.
Oh my god. Dude, the whole sweet and innocent game throws me off all the time because now that I know the psychos that I'm talking to, I'm just like, that's not what you want at all.
The
And dude, like, don't fucking
the
come like
sweet
right
and
out of it.
innocent thing, yeah,
Yeah, I know. That's definitely
yeah.
not
It's
what these
like
psychos are. But how many times have you been asked to smack a girl, right? And for me, I've been asked too many times, like to the point where I'm just like, "Hey, we can we just talk?"
yeah,
Like,
you're like curled up in a blanket, shivering.
damn near, dude. That shit freaks me out. I'm just like, I've got 100 pounds on you easy, and I'm not
Yeah,
fucking Barry Bonds, but I got a pretty strong arm. And I'm like, why would you want that?
yeah. And the other thing, dude, is that like I've had girls go from like a little bit reserved to like, okay, you can do whatever you want to me after they're like, I'm like dismissive towards them.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I had this girl. I don't think most of this is making the podcast. But I had this girl who was, dude, this girl was 19. I was 26, 27.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I met her in person and I got her number and we went out a few weeks later and we hooked up and I was like I had no interest in like pursuing anything with this girl or whatever and I was just like okay like load up get in the car like sort of like pretty much unfeelingly like the vibe is like I don't care if I ever see you again and I
Right.
took her to her car I like drove her to her car
So that was the vibe.
and
Like, you couldn't care less if you ever saw this girl again.
the vibe is like I got what I wanted. whatever. And I like took her to her car. I drove her to her car, and we were sitting there, like right by her car, and I was about to let her out, and like we started making out a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I sort of, you know, sh- you know,
Yeah.
started putting her head down or whatever,
Uh
and she was like, "Okay, you don't think you're ever gonna see me again? Watch this." And dude,
huh.
this fucking girl, like went all out, deep throated me for like 2 hours straight, like
Good God, you
choking
lucky man.
herself. Yes, dude. Like it was like a Hail Mary to be like, call me again, please.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, dude.
Dude, yeah. That's happened fucking that is something that I think a lot of men routinely find. It's just like you said, it's that Hail Mary attempt. It's just like, look, I'm already in a bad spot. I might as well fucking try something, you know? And
Yeah.
I think that's the fucking triggering point, dude, for these women. They're like, okay, cool. Like, I think he's at his wit's end. I might as well show him something. Or I might as well
Yeah, it's
freaking
like
show him
it's
clean about
like
something.
it sucks because like sometimes they interpret dismissiveness or I don't callousness, like I don't care about you, as like it's like a sign of you being a high value. It's like I'm up here, I don't give a shit, and then they're like, "Oh, please give a shit." It's like, ugh. It's sad. It's really sad because it means that like the girls you want to care about and whatever are like they would open up to you more if you were worse to them.
You know what's funny about that? I was just having a conversation with so I was cooking breakfast for these for two women this morning and everything. A girl who I was hanging out with, and then her and her friend had plans to go and do something for studying. And so the friend I was with, she invites her other friend over. And so like I said, I was making breakfast for him. And while they're both here, we're having this conversation. She was talking about this guy who she may be interested in. However, she was like, he's got a few red flags. He's constantly bombarding me with like, like, what are you doing text? Always like all over her, like her direct messages, always like, hitting her up for like when times that she's available. And she was like, is this normal behavior for a lot of guys? And I was like, honestly, yes. And what it is just it's called neediness, right? He needs to be like he's trying to feel validated by your presence and everything, but he doesn't understand that there's a chase involved, right? Like it's like little cat and mouse kind of a game. However,
Yeah.
all he freaking knows is that I think she said that he was like 22 or something like that. Not a whole lot of experience in life, especially not with women, I'm sure. And that all he knows is just like, I either have to be really nice or I just have to be consistently freaking hitting her up at all times. And all that she was conveying to me in that story frame was that this guy was just freaking making her feel even more detached from him and definitely every single
Yeah.
moment he took to reach out to her. And so I thought that was like really interesting. And so I've definitely had that situation arise for me in the past, but it's just it's just like a learning curve with women and everything. One, you got to find out that they're fucked up, and two, you got to find out just how fucked up they got to be. Why are there balloons here? Did it happen again?
Yeah, your screen you just went black. I can still hear you though.
Okay. Well,
It
first
doesn't
I had
matter.
balloons.
It says recording continues smoothly. Live video will return when their internet improves. So it's all good. Yeah, it's really sad because I've fumbled some things where like Yeah, dude, honestly, that has happened to me. That sort of thing has happened to me enough where I'm like, as soon as a girl gives me the like dismissiveness, like, oh, you're being too forward or needy or whatever, I'm like, okay, because I know what's going to happen next. I already know what's going to happen next because it's happened so
Yeah.
many times. She blows me off, and I go, all right, fine. You don't want to talk to me? You don't have to. And I just ignore her, like, and go about my business like she doesn't exist. And then within a week, she'll see me with a new girl on my arm, and then she's fucking back. And it's too late most of the time. And it's like, I already know how this works. Like, you want to play games, and I know the ending to this story already because I've fucking seen it so many
Yes.
times. So
Yeah,
just
dude.
appreciate my. I'm telling you, if I'm pursuing you, it's because I'm good enough for you. So just appreciate my interest while it's here, or I'm gone, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, I fucked up.
Yes.
I fucking," and it sucks because, dude, it's happened so many times that as soon as it happens, I'm like, I already know how this is gonna go. So,
Yeah.
all right,
Absolutely. I think there's something to be said there, man. So let's calibrate from two different points, right? Okay, so from the standpoint of being a man, it's like walking that tightrope of social calibration, right? Too much, you draw or you push her away. Too little, there's disinterest, right?
yeah,
And even on her part, let's say that she has to rifle through so many candidates who are either genuinely disinterested or playing a part to enough effect to where it's just a blatant lie, right? So it's a
yeah,
tightrope effect for both genders and everything. And it's like either you find the bluffing point or you find the authentic point, you know?
yeah, dude,
I've always found
and
that very alluring.
what?
So I've always found that very alluring, in a social situation. I'm just like, especially like when I was learning how to like, how to kind of like engage myself and social interactions with women, I was just like, where where does my part end, and her part begin, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I'm honestly, dude, I'm still no good at it. Like, um,
Mm,
I'm really good at like I'm really good with women when I don't care. As soon as I'm like, oh, I want something to work out here, it's like I fuck up.
yes, absolutely. I was just about to bring
So
that point up. I was about to ask you. I was about to ask you, Andrew, do you ever find yourself in that same situation that you were just talking about, to like where you're trying, and then you're just like mentally like checked out, and then all of a sudden she's like fully engaged with you. She's like giving you something.
every fucking time, dude, like it sucks. It sucks. Like if I'm not good enough for a girl, which it's like, dude, if you're here and I'm here, it's because we both know I'm good enough. Like they interpret my interests as like low value and neediness
Yeah,
sometimes, and it's like, man, that's not what this is. I just like you. It's like they want you to dislike them. It sucks.
yeah,
They want you to like them barely enough that they can like kind of stick around, like,
yeah.
and you'll tolerate it.
But
Like,
what is that's a evolutionary effect, you know?
yeah,
It's like
for sure.
women are so
It,
much more
it, it
attuned.
it's hypergamy. It's what it is that is they because they interpret that interest as being like, oh, like I'm too good for you or whatever. It's like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know what language they would use to describe it, but that's what language makes sense to me. That's what I see. And it's like,
yeah, dude.
and I've had girls regret it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
fuck, man. I've had girls
That's
like
always a
be
weird
like,
one. Yeah, that's always a weird one. Like you kind of get the cold shoulder at first, and then like once they kind of get to know you over time, they're like, "Oh, I regret this now. I wish I would have given you the time," or this, that, or the other. I'm just like, great, another
No,
hurdle to jump through.
for me, it's like getting interest, generating interest from women is not a problem. It's as soon as I'm like, oh, I want something to go well here.
Hmm.
It's like I fuck up like 3 weeks into it, where I'm like, and I don't fuck up really when I don't really like somebody. I don't know.
Well, it's you're playing the part of your more genuine effect when you're no longer vying for their attention. But as soon as you have like so-called skin in the game and everything, you start playing to you start playing the part. Like, okay, I've got to fucking put my best version out there and everything. That's when you start getting yourself into the whole freaking mental game and fucking it up. You know, you start getting in your
Yeah,
head. You start trying to freaking be somebody that you're not. And I really think that's where the main issue starts and ends. You know, it's like once you're kind of comfortable in your own skin with that social environment, that's when she starts picking up on that vibe.
yeah. That's what people talk about when they're like, I hear people saying like, you have to be unattached to the outcome, because as soon as
Yeah.
you're attached to the outcome, you become like needy or whatever. Or
Hmm.
it comes across as needy, and it's like, dude, I don't need you to like me. I already know you like me. I would like for this to not be like games all the time. Can we just fucking like cut through the bullshit here? No, you
Hmm.
can't. You never
Yeah.
can. They'll never let you cut through the bullshit.
They never will, man. They never will. And that's why the game continues to this day. I think
Oh
that's
man,
why
I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it.
look for both parts, man. I believe that people are fucking are sick of the game, but neither party are going to fucking let up, right? The female the female gender is not going to freaking stop creating the game, and the male party is not going to stop freaking using certain techniques that are going to actively work in the environment, you know, because of the game.
Right. Yeah, no, it's not going away. It's definitely not going away. There's like,
What
you know,
what's the cheat code though? What's the cheat code? Is it money? Fame? What is it?
um fame is definitely I mean, you can get all the pussy you want if you're famous. Like if
Yeah.
that's what you want, but I don't think it ever gets easier if you want like a real uh relationship, you know? I think women are never satisfied.
No. Because
Like
even once you get
you
them,
have to be like an ass to be completely satisfying to a woman. You don't have to be rich, you don't have to be famous, you don't have to be whatever. It's like you have to be attractive to them and act like you barely care, and then they're satisfied, then they'll do anything for you.
yeah, pretty much laid it out right there, man, for what it is. Excuse me. But you're right, man. You're right. But we got to find the cheat code, dude. That's what this is all about.
Well, I
How
mean,
do we get it?
one cheat code is there's lots of like little pieces of the cheat code, right? It's like
Mhm.
one of the pieces is having your like having enough, call it optionality. Like if you have to be like satisfied in your own life and have your shit together to where you don't like having a girl around or girls around is just like a bonus or like whatever. Like you don't even care really.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I mean, you know all this. It's like if a girl is less likely to leave if she knows that. there's just going to be another girl to replace her. The sooner the sooner there's going to be another girl to replace her,
Mhm.
the less likely she is to leave. The, it's like, and that's why like this last girl, like I was saying, it's like she kind of blew me off or whatever, and then I'm like, dude, you're going to, I know for a fact you're going to see some girl on my arm within a week, and then you're going to be like, oh fuck, what did I do? I know it. I know it. I fucking have
Yeah.
seen it, dude.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like I don't want it. It's like maybe the move is like before that happens, like you lose interest. Dude, that might be the move. Like you generate interest and you get her to like you, and then you ignore her, blow her off before she does it to you, and then you get the girl on your arm and she sees it.
Exactly. Exactly, dude. Yeah.
Dude, I think that might be the move. Like just like blow her off before she blows you off. Get the new girl, show her, make sure she sees, and then she'll then she's back without having that had that first interaction
Yeah.
where she
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I think that's a strong move, dude. I really do. But I think it's all about the correct social settings. Time is a huge factor in all of that. But I think it's easier to do in cities. You just have much more optionality within. I mean, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe you have too many options and not enough of the correct venues to be in that option area for. I don't know, but I hear what you're saying, man. I do. But let me ask you
Yeah.
this, dude. Do you ever get asked to be a wingman from time to time?
Dude, I don't have any friends. I don't have, like there's nobody
Oh
here.
yeah, I forgot I'm it.
I mean, I have friends, but they're like nobody's here. There's no like going out here,
No, no, no,
and
no.
nobody
And that's
lives here.
probably
Like you
yeah.
live
They're coming back.
wherever the fuck you are at the time. I have friends in Austin, but they're 1,000 miles away. I have,
Right.
Hoover's married and has a new kid and stuff. It's like Jonah's a freak.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, but that's I think that's beneficial these days, man, because going back to when you lived in Austin, dude, you had so many options of going out and having a lot of like thriftless fun, and the options seemed endless. But I think when you take away those options for so much fun, it brings you down to a baseline level of like, okay, I need to get these certain aspects of my life in line and create and find out like where my baseline is, to ascend to the next level in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like foregoing pleasure for the greater purpose. Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, dude.
um, yeah. I mean, that's where I'm at. Is like, you know what? So, because like I could go back to any city that has that job that I used to do and
Yeah.
make good money like that, and you know do whatever, have all this fun and stuff again. I could do that anytime, but it's like remember the carpet store from Rick and Morty, Rick or
Oh yeah.
Roy.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Remember Roy? Roy's born. He grows up and da 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 da. He works at the carpet store. He gets cancer. He beats it and he goes back to the carpet store.
Oh
It's
yeah, that
like
was a sad
me
ending,
go
dude.
me going back to doing pedicabbing is like Roy going back to the carpet store.
Please don't. Please don't. I like this character
I'm not,
development of
dude.
Andrew right now.
I'm not. I can't do it, dude. I will not do
I
it.
don't blame you at all,
I'm not even going back to
bro.
Coachella this year, dude. I'm not gonna do it.
Please don't, dude. You're above that shit now. You're above that shit, bro. But to your point, and freaking knock on wood, bro. I'm surprised I haven't gotten hurt in this industry, and it's I'll tell you, it's easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like fucking high pressured, like mechanical environments all the fucking time. Either it be pneumatic, hydraulic, potential energy stored in mechanical areas, electrical, falling from heights, tools falling from heights, dude. And I'm just out there fucking giggling my ass off with fucking coworkers in these fucking environments. And I've done this for like what 4.5 years now, plus 4 years in the fucking Marine Corps. And I haven't gotten hurt that much. The Marine Corps is a different story, but in this environment for sure, haven't gotten barely a scratch.
Have you
If
had
anything,
coworkers out there with you who got fucked up really bad?
a coworker of mine that got hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, I've not really known people personally to me that have gotten hurt, but I've just like, I know people who've gotten hurt, but that's the extent of
So it's
that.
so, so it's not really that common.
Not too terribly common. Like, I think the most serious thing that you get is like, cuts, scrapes. Every once in a while, somebody will get a hand smashed. The worst thing you hear about is like a broken bone, and that's like the most serious that things get. But what's funny is I find myself really getting hurt on my personal time. It's like, how's that saying going? An idle mind is the devil's playground. You ever heard of that?
Uh, Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
That's the one. That's the one. And it's funny that you say hands because, yeah, dude, a full effect. On my freaking personal time, before you and I went out to Miami, I was just fucking around and I wasn't really working at the time. And I freaking shattered all of this fucking, this wrist bone here. And that
I
was just,
remember.
yeah. But
I remember.
to the effect, dude, it's just like that idle time really left a lot of space open for like just bad environments to be created. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. I just, I don't hurt myself. I don't. Oh, do you remember? We knew a guy who died in your industry. Remember that? When we
Really?
were like 20 years old. Yeah, yeah. It was one of my neighbor's friends. Tyler, remember
Mm-hmm.
that guy? Jordan.
Huh.
I'm not gonna say his last name because whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a guy who I knew you had met. He worked in the wind industry, and we were like 20 years old, and he fell off a fucking tower from like 300 feet.
That's a fucking
Yeah,
serious drop too, man.
he had a twin. So his twin was left. He's grown up with this guy his whole life, and
Mm-hmm.
his twin twin was just like, it's like, what the fuck do I even do?
Yeah.
Like, it's not my brother. It's my fucking identical copy. He's
Yeah.
gone. That they spent all this time with or whatever. I'm trying not to give too many details because I
Right.
actually have a wild story about that motherfucker.
Mm.
Um, this guy, I don't think I can put that on the internet.
I don't think you should either.
Yeah.
But what that sounds like to
I
me,
don't, listen, I wasn't fucking there. I don't know for sure. That's what I heard.
right, right,
That's
right,
what I
right.
heard.
I get it. But what that sounds like to me is freaking karma, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
Sounds like karma to me, dude. But, these
Yeah,
types of stories are
he
always
was
floating
not
around.
a nice fella.
Yeah. I swear, yeah. A lot of those fucking guys, a lot of those not so nice guys, man, they usually get what's coming to them in the end.
And some of them don't.
It's true. That's
Some of
true,
them
man.
don't get what's coming to them, which is like some people. I'm like, there's some people I grew up with who I'm like, how are you not in fucking prison? It doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah. There you
Tyler,
go. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, how the fuck have you managed to stay out of prison? Like, kind of like relatively, he's gone to jail and stuff, but it's like, this fucking guy gets to walk around.
Yeah. Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, dude. It's hard to think about sometimes, man. I think we know quite a few people like that, man. And it is mind boggling just to freaking just try and wrap your head around that scenario. There's so many of them just floating around, honestly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Um, dude, you never know, man. You never know like what people are capable of. Like the
No,
older I get, the more experience I get, I'm like, dude, just don't fuck with anybody because you fucking don't know.
you
You do
know,
not
dude.
know what somebody's capable of.
Yeah.
Um, dude,
I
there's this
think
guy. What's up?
I think that's just the a blessing in disguise, right? The knowledge gained from perspective over time, you know. And a lot of people don't always have the luxury of using that ability, of like, oh, I've seen a situation like this before. I probably shouldn't, place myself into this negative environment or the situation at all,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, dude,
But
I'm gonna ask if you have any stories like this. But like, okay, so there's this guy. I know this guy who I've known for like 12 years, and I knew he was like a tough guy or whatever. But like, he's like very very quiet. Like, I kind of was like almost like, is he like mentally challenged or something? Like, is there something wrong? Very very quiet. And I knew his dad too. I know his dad. His dad. His dad is a very very nice guy,
hmm
and you would never suspect that both of those guys could kill and not fucking sweat it. Both of these guys could kill and not sweat it at all. I mean, they could. These guys could
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
never tell a
You know
soul.
what?
And
This is coming from a military perspective. The When I say the coolest guy I've ever met in my fucking life, like fucking cool hand loot, dude, was a top tier fucking sniper in the Marine Corps, dude. Like had gone through SEER school, which is like you're learning how to escape from being a captured prisoner of war, right?
yeah,
I think it's like survive, escape, evade, rescue, or some acronym leading towards that. A renowned sniper, fucking top accolades, dude. And he's just like walking like through his A life, like, oh hey, how's it going? Hey buddy. And like the first time I fucking met him, dude, I was just like, oh dude, this guy's like fucking he's like rocking like a desk jockey type of deal. And until people were just like, hey dude, how about you show that man a little more fucking respect? And I was like new at the time, and I was like, that guy? Why? He's just he's like another sergeant. He's like, no, no, that guy will fucking kill you with a spoon if you get on his bedside. And it was just
yeah,
like it was like that odd, like something like had to click in my brain, like you fucking never know. But
yeah. So
that
so
was
I
coming from
fucking dude.
yeah.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say like
I
that.
have a story after you.
Yeah, I was about to say like that came from like at a pretty early age. I was like 20, 21, and I was like, there's really motherfuckers like this out in the world, just freaking just breathing free air with that type of fucking mentality, dude. Like that type of skill set. And I'm just like, that's a frightening idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. And you never know. Like, okay, so I met this guy who I'm talking about probably like 12 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And he, I was just talking to him. I was hanging out with him and his dad um, just the other day. And I was
Mm-hmm.
talking about beer distributorships, like liquor distributorships, and that business model. So basically, there's a family we grew up with, and who runs a beer distributorship. And basically, what it is they have a warehouse that gets all the booze for a certain alcohol company, and they have license to operate in a certain area. And all they do is they own a warehouse, they receive this booze, and then they take it to all the bars and liquor stores around. And
Mm-hmm.
these people have fucking crazy amounts of money, like lots and lots. There's some of the richest people around.
Wow.
And I was just speaking openly about, I was like, that's a wild business, right? Like, how does that work? How does that, like, how is it that those people got those licenses and stuff? And he goes,
Mm-hmm.
gangster shit. And this guy like almost never talks. And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, basically, not too long ago, it was prohibition. And so all of the people who ran uh, alcohol and produced alcohol and sold alcohol, they were all criminals. And when it
Mm-hmm.
became legal, the people who controlled the market were still criminals. So they divvied up like territory, and all the people who ended up getting those deals were either criminals or like family of criminals type of thing, or like, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of how the whole thing still operates. And then he told me, I was like, well, how do you know this? Then he told me that he used to work for one. He used to work for one nearby, not the one we know, but the one nearby. And he said that they need to keep 70% of the market share. And if it dips to 69%, they start going fucking nuts. They'll do anything to keep 70% of the market share in a certain area. And he told me that in this county that the distributorship he worked for was in, the this guy's market share in the area dipped below 70%, and he started like flipping out. And he shoved a pistol into this guy's chest and said, I don't care what the fuck you have to do. You go down to those bars and you get it back above 70. And he goes, well, I don't need this. And so
Ooh,
he goes
damn.
he goes in there, and basically he was like about to he was ready to beat the shit out of the people who own these bars, but
Mm-hmm.
he just like choke slammed him and roughed him up a little bit, and was basically like, hey, you take these other taps the fuck out of here. That's what you're gonna do.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, okay.
Dude.
This dude who runs like a multi-million-dollar operation here nearby was like, dude, he fucking put a gun in this guy's chest and was like, fix it.
Basically, yes, dude.
Yeah.
That's just the fucking that's the underground, bro. Like, okay, isn't it interesting to think about how like let me put in terms of like the internet. You know how like you have like the surface layer of like the internet, and
Yeah,
then you have like the dark web, and then you have like the deep web.
yeah,
That's kind of like how that structure of society works. It's like businesses, school, bullshit, everyday fucking playing field stuff. Then below that, it's like the real world that actually makes shit run. Like fucking how business is actually ran. Like fucking business, when they say that fucking business is war, they mean
yeah.
it.
And how
Mhm.
and even below that is like how like governments are ran.
Oh yeah,
How
dude, that
how
curtain is
how
real, son.
how like international politics is ran, and we got a glimpse of that with the whole Epstein thing.
Oh,
And
for sure.
how deep I went down there,
You damn
dude.
near
That
lost your
shit,
mind traveling that one.
dude. That shit is terrifying, and
Yeah,
it's
dude.
like I've explained to you before. It's like you start going down that rabbit hole, and you realize that it's all the rabbit holes. It's just endless. You can go down. You can fucking explore the passageways of that rabbit hole forever, and
Yeah.
you'll get everywhere. You'll get everywhere,
Mhm.
dude. It's wild. Like they
Yeah.
just this is a new part. This is a new thing that just came out with the Epstein thing. Is that so fucking dude? Kids from Disney was sending kids to Epstein's island. This is just what I heard here recently. Disney was sending children to Epstein's island, and the like one of those cruise companies like I can't remember which one it was, but one of those cruise companies, I think it was Carnival, like one of those like Happy Go fucking kids whatever one, was
Yeah.
like making stops at his island frequently.
Oof.
And kids go missing from Disney World and Disneyland all the time. And
God, man.
the guy who runs it, Bob Iger, is Jewish, and he marches in lockstep with all these other like mega group Jewish billionaires who run all this shit, who are basically just an arm of the Mossad.
Oof.
And yeah,
Yeah.
dude, Epstein was Mossad. And I mean, obviously, Epstein was Mossad. Ghislaine Maxwell was Mossad. Obviously, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad was Mossad. And
Yeah. 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 I
Ghislaine
hear that.
Maxwell's dad, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad was the publishing titan from he owned Pergamon Press and a bunch of other like newspapers and publications and stuff, like billions of dollars worth of operations going on. And he worked, he's clearly a Mossad agent. Here's the crazy part, dude. Do you remember what the brand of the books we read in high school was? Like who made those books?
Are you talking about like the Grapes of Wrath, fucking 1984, all that?
No, no, I mean like our textbooks.
Oh. No, 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 I don't.
McGraw Hill.
Yeah.
Guess
Okay, that's
who
very familiar.
guess who owned McGraw Hill?
Purgatory Press,
Pergamon Press.
Pergamon Press. Wow.
So so essentially Mossad, an arm of Mossad, was printing all of the textbooks, not all, but most of the textbooks that we as Americans learned from in school.
Wow.
And so not only that, not only is Mossad educating American children history and science and all this stuff, it's also a money laundering operation because the US government taxes people here in this country, writes a check to McGraw Hill, which goes to Pergamon Press, which goes to Robert Maxwell, who is an arm of the Mossad.
Everything's controlled, dude. Everything is fucking systematically controlled. Fuck. Oof. you never really know how fucking deep it goes until you start looking at things, you know?
I'm telling you, boy, it's really it's it's
Yeah.
it can't go on, man. It cannot go on.